I remember the first year I actually started riding motorcycles. I learned how to ride motorcycles on YouTube, and then I went and bought a motorcycle, and I just kind of rode that thing for a year straight. I even rode it in black ice. It was fun. It was like one of the best years of my life, and to this day I still continue to ride motorcycles. I mean, I own 3 right now, and even though it's winter, I'm still trying to go out there and ride as much as possible. I have some advice that might actually help you if you're new or if you're looking for a new motorcycle to ride. What is going on, fam? Welcome back to Adobe Moto. If you just got a motorcycle or are thinking about getting a motorcycle, welcome. Welcome to this amazing life of riding motorcycles. I've been riding motorcycles for 14 years now, and I haven't missed one season. I think insurance is probably the most important thing that you could have, especially when you're first riding. You're definitely gonna go down. It's not a question of if, it's more of a matter of when you're gonna go down. So having insurance, full coverage insurance, is probably the best thing you're gonna wanna have. When you go on Facebook and you start to look for your community, whether that's Harley riders, cafe racers, adventure riders, sport bike riders, track day riders, this might not apply so much to track day riders, but I know some insurance companies actually do cover track days because they consider it a school. When you're out doing those group rides, a lot of those guys don't have insurance. I'm telling you this right now. In Washington State, it just recently became mandatory to have liability insurance for motorcycles, but before, like, it wasn't required because Washington State actually has a lot of motorcycle accidents. I've lived here for about 8 years now, and you know, every year I hear about motorcycle accidents and people passing away, and it's just one of those things that you should always have just in case. I mean, your bike is precious, your life is precious. You don't want those kinds of medical bills. You want to have full coverage insurance at all times, especially if somebody who's gonna hit you doesn't have insurance that's riding. I mean, that's in Washington State has a lot of guys that don't have insurance. It's I don't know, like, always have insurance. Second piece of advice, if you haven't bought a motorcycle yet, this is more for you. If you're looking for a motorcycle, I would say if you have the money, get the bike that you want from the very beginning. I would say if you don't have the money and you want to get riding right away, buy the cheapest thing that you can afford, and then save up the money for your actual dream bike. But if you have the money now, just go for it. The reason I say that is because a lot of people like to start on like a starter motorcycle, and I feel like that's just such a waste of time and energy. When I bought my motorcycle, I bought a 2006 R6, and at the time that was my dream bike, and I enjoyed every minute of it. The experience was even better for me because I got to have the bike that I wanted, and I didn't start from a bike that I didn't really necessarily like. Look, just trust me, you don't want to do things 2 or 3 times over. Just get the bike that you want. Again, only if you can afford it. Okay, besides riding with gear and a full face helmet and checking your bike all the time, one thing you should know is the motorcycle community in general we're just super friendly people. But you are gonna find people that you like riding with and people that you don't like riding with. And that's kind of one of the things that I do, is I ride with people that I enjoy riding with. I don't necessarily go on every group ride there is. I just try to find like those 2 or 3 people that I actually like to ride with. Unfortunately, all those people that I used to like to ride with, they just stopped riding motorcycles. One dude moved away, and then the other one has a motorcycle, but he just never rides it. Kind of like me, I guess. But yeah, go find your community. Go find your 2 or 3 people that you like to ride with, and ride with them all the time. It's like the greatest experience of your life. I've met some of the best people I've ever known on motorcycles, and some of my best friends I just met through riding motorcycles. So yeah, start on like those big group rides, and then obviously have full insurance, and then, you know, find those 2 or 3 dudettes, guys, gals, whoever the hell you like totally click with, because they actually they become almost like your lifelong friends. And if I never took the deep dive to actually go out and buy a motorcycle and start riding, I probably would have never met some of the people that I consider, you know, some of my really good friends. That's what's so great about motorcycles, is you just meet some of the coolest people you ever met. Like, obviously you're gonna meet some really shitty people, but You don't have to be friends with those people. So if you need like a dash cam or a vlogging camera, I highly suggest staying away from GoPro. Like GoPro's been fucking me over lately with their like bullshit with this SD card crap, and it's not recording and shit like that. That's why I'm in this garage making this video, because I actually went out to ride today and then GoPro took a shit on me. So go get the DJI Action 2, whatever DJI has out right now. It's gonna be far better than whatever GoPro has. Like, I'm not saying like GoPro quality isn't there. The quality is great. It's the unreliability. That's the fucking problem with GoPro. All right, this is something really important. I think you should save money aside for not only like for repairs, oil, that kind of stuff, but for tires. Okay, I see this a lot. People riding with like shitty tires, old tires, bald tires. Tires are probably like the most important thing that you could have on your motorcycle. It affects the ride so much, especially when it's old, or if it has a flat spot, if it's not sticking. The tires can really cause you to have a bad day, and you don't want that. Just make sure you always have decent tires when you're riding. It doesn't have to be like the most expensive tires, as long as like they're in decent shape. You know, watch your tire pressure. When I first started riding, I rode on all season tires. So basically like they weren't like the best at one thing. They were just kind of good at everything. And you know, I paid like $400, but it lasted me like 10,000 miles. That was through tire pressure maintenance and just really keeping my bike on a stand in the winter time, and just really watching the way I actually ride. Tire maintenance is huge. You only have two. You only have two. That's what's keeping you up. That's what's keeping you level. That's what's keeping you safe. Tires, man. Tires are probably the most important thing when you're riding. All right, this is probably the biggest piece of advice for people who have been considering buying a motorcycle for a long time, and other people have been telling them, no, it's dangerous, this, that, and the other. If you're like me and you've been thinking about riding a motorcycle for a long time, but you couldn't pull the trigger, here's what I did. I just did it, man. Like I get people that come up with me all the time on, like at gas stations or wherever I'm stopped, and then they check out my bike, they start talking to me, and they're like, yo, like, always wanted to ride, but you know, my parents or my wife or my kid, you know, all kinds of like, but this. Listen, if you want to ride a motorcycle, you go out and go get a motorcycle, especially if you've been thinking about it for years, man. Like motorcycles they just become a part of my life and a part of my lifestyle and a part of just me, really. Like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have a motorcycle in my garage. It's weird. Like, I've done that. I've sold my motorcycles, and then the next day I'm just like, all right, well, where can I buy a bike? Like, I'm trying to get back on this. Like, this is nuts. Like, I have a buddy, Jason. I've been telling him, like, bro, you got to get on a bike, bro. Like, you belong on a bike. You know, we can moto vlog together. Da da da. And he's like, yeah, I don't have a garage. Da da da. I'm like, but look, man. But what's cool about motorcycles? Like, they fit. They can fit in your kitchen. They fit anywhere, really. And I don't know, man. It's just we make excuses for ourselves, or we let other people make excuses for us for not riding. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, like all those things that they tell you about motorcycles, it's all true, but it's also the other side where it's like, it's one of the most fun and exhilarating things that you'll ever do in your life. If you don't ride a motorcycle, you just don't know. But if you do, if you're watching this and you ride a motorcycle, you know what I'm talking about. Comment down below and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that this is not the best fucking shit you've ever done in your life, man. Like, God, man, like I love motorcycles. I love the adrenaline. I love the community. I love the people. I don't like the shitty people. But again, like I can control that. It's what got me started on YouTube. It's, you know, when I watch like a moto vlogger or a new motorcycle review, I just enjoy it. So if you've been thinking about buying a motorcycle and you've been thinking about it for a while, listen, man, there's no better time than now to buy a motorcycle. Catch me next Sunday. I'll be doing a lot more of these. I should be doing a lot of these like reviews and how-tos and tips to help you get into the world of motorcycling and to help you better your experience as a rider. So every Sunday, catch this video. It's gonna be like a tips, tricks, whatever, advice. And then, you know, I'm gonna be moto vlogging a lot more this year. So I'd really appreciate if you guys share this video or comment down below or hit that like button. It helps the algorithm. Yeah, Yeah, I love it. I love motorcycles, and if you do too, you know, give me a thumbs up.